If you enjoy listening to inspirational stories from people just like us, facing the fear and doing it anyway, then you're in the right place. My name is Claire Hill, and this is the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Hello, welcome to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. My name is Claire Hill and I am your host. I am the founder of the Vivid Club membership. I am a wire artist and have a business called Vivid Wire where I make wire art. But I'm very passionate about supporting business owners through trauma-informed business support, lifting them up, empower them and giving them a bit of an injection of brilliance into their energy, their mindset and their business. That's basically in a nutshell. That's the Vivid Club. Vivid Wire. I teach wire art and I make wire art. And that's where it all started. Wire art changed my life. Fact. Today is the third episode in my breakdown. No, it's not. It's the fourth episode. I'm wrong because I did an extra one. But I've had, well, let me just recap for you. Episode 1 was about the warrior energy because that's part of my warrior best friend. Let me just start again. Get myself confused here because I want to make sure that I'm covering all the bases. I operate my business support, my trauma-informed business support, using my Warrior Boss framework. And there are 4 components to the Warrior Boss framework. Number 1 is warrior energy. Number 2 is vision, strategy and planning. Number 3 is money-making attitude. And number 4 is consistency and productivity. Warrior energy was covered in 2 episodes because in between I had a bit of a wonky day. You can go back and listen to that episode and I'll talk about how I use my warrior energy toolkit to help me on my wonky days. Number 2, last 2 weeks ago, was all about vision, strategy and planning. And then today I'm talking about money-making attitude. It's one of my favourite things to talk about. To be honest, I love talking about it all. Though I'm quite distracted, I saw about a tip about how to record your YouTube videos, because you might be watching this, by the way. It's on YouTube or you're listening. About don't sit on a swingy chair because it distracts you. I could not stop fidgeting for the life of me. I can't stop. I'm always moving. So if I didn't have a swinging chair, I'd be crossing my legs. There's a story about that of how I met my husband. He started fancying me at a meeting. We used to work together. And he looked under the table and he couldn't see my legs because my legs were crossed on the chair. But that is because I'm so short that my legs never reach the floor. If I sit properly on this chair, they don't. So that's why I'm always moving. I hope you don't mind if you're watching. I need to move again. Okay, so money-making attitude. First up, we're going to talk about money story. Now, having a money story, we all have a money story. We all have a story about how we learned about money, what our families felt about money, how we grew up with money, how we are with money now. We all have a money story. If yours is similar to mine, it sometimes can be quite difficult. It's a challenge to reset your money attitude because when you grew up with nothing and you grew up in poverty, you have you probably were surrounded with the words of skin, no money, can't afford that quite a lot. You sort of learned not to ask for anything because you knew that you weren't going to be able to afford it. You also probably accepted there was no point in dreaming or wishing for anything because you weren't going to get it. And it was always about just getting by and surviving. So if you had a similar story to me, I grew up in poverty. My mum was on benefits because when my dad passed away, she was pregnant with my brother and had 3 children. How old was I? I was 8. My sister was 6 and my other sister was 5. And my mum was pregnant. I think I've got those ages right. So my mum was pregnant with my brother. So she couldn't really go out to work. So she had to be on benefits. And, I'm really grateful that we have a system to support that. It meant that we were also on an electric and gas meter. And if you've ever had experience of gas and electric meters, the rate that you pay, we know if you're moaning about your bills at the moment, which all of us are, our energy bills, especially in the UK, and I think Australia is also really struggling. your energy bills are increasing, but you might be on direct debit, which means that you don't actually the standard variable rate, or the fixed rate or whatever. Was I just talking about mortgages then? But you know what I mean? The rate that you pay your fuel in, your energy, is sort of set because you can pay using the bank. But if you are more at risk of not fulfilling a debt, even if you're so good at paying your bills, if there's a risk that you aren't going to pay it, and generally people that are living in poverty, there is more of a risk that they can't pay their bills, then in the UK, you get put on a meter, and also the debt gets taken with you, and doesn't stay at the property. So if you are a tenant, sometimes you can be put on a meter, and it's something that can be enforced on you as well. So we had a meter because just of the way it was in the building, we were in social housing, so we had a meter. But it meant that gas and electric were more expensive, and there were so many days and so many times my mum would literally have to be like, right, I've only got £5. That's all I've got. That's got to last the weekend with 4 children on her own. Like, I think about it now, I just can't believe. Like, it feels not alien because it is my story, but it's, God, how far have I come? Brilliant. Just give myself a little pat on the back, without getting emotional. But it feels but yeah, anyway, and like the times that I would have a cold bath. Now, my mum must have felt so distraught having to know that her child has got to be clean, and the only way that she can be clean is to put her in cold water. Though thinking about it, she could have used a flannel. But it's just like, it's just horrible, isn't it, thinking about it? But there was just no money to make sure that we had hot water all the time. And the lights would go off when we were cooking dinner. Then the gas would go off. And then we'd have like half-cooked dinners, or even nothing. It would just have to be toast. Everything had to be saved. Every piece of food had to be saved, and because we could reuse it, or we could eat it another day, or like if we had a plate of food, we better be eating that whole plate of food. Nothing went to waste. And all of these thought processes have been quite important in my growth as a business owner, to recognize that, and for myself actually, because if, for example, I know we all do this, sort of like leftovers from our children's plates, I'm not eating those leftovers from Jackson's plate because I'm extra hungry or anything. I eat them because I don't want anything to go into the bin, not that I'm hungry. So then the thought process is basically, I'm a bin, because it would be going in the bin. So to save it going in the bin, I'm going to force myself to eat stuff. So basically, I'm the bin. See what I mean? So I've stopped doing that when I realised that. Also, eating all of my dinner, even if I'm already full, because it feels like a waste. Even if I'm full, it's like, these are things that I've been really working on the last 6 months about my habits with eating, and they all just stem from like that working in that poverty line, and just saying, the better quality food, or actually saying that, but investing in quality food is better fuel for me to work on my business and be a better mum and a better wife. So why am I scrimping? I bet, and also, if you buy local produce, it's more expensive, but then you're giving back to your local area because you're buying local produce. There's just things like that, like being aware of your relationship. Why aren't you going to spend that money? Why does it feel uncomfortable to spend that money when you know you're going to get a better value? And is it more important to be trying to save every bit? And we're going to come back to that in a minute. So having that money story of where you started and where you're going, and also that this It might have been like a negative connotation with debt, when really debt is investment. As long as, you know, you've invested in really good things and you're paying it back as investment, it's not a negative thing. Not encouraging you to get into debt, but I'm just saying, like, don't carry shame if you have debt, because when you look back, it's probably because you've invested. So, and also being around people that have saved and, you know, saving for a rainy day. When are the rainy days coming? Saving for a lovely holiday in Zante. That's my mission. I'm telling now all of you on the podcast, YouTube, I'm going away. Actually, why am I telling you when I'm going away? There might be a robber listening and you're going to hear it. I'm not going to say that, even though my in-laws will be watching. So don't even think about it. I'm just going to stop there. Anyway, I'm going on a holiday to Zante, 5-star, all-inclusive for a week. And I know when I'm going. I'm not going to tell you. But I'm going. And I'm also going to Centre Parks in a couple of, well, I think we're going to book it in a few weeks. Again, I'm not going to tell you when. Why am I telling you this? This is broadcasted out. But yeah, I'm going away, and it's sort of that element of, can we really afford it? No, I'm going to make the money. That's what I'm going to do. I'll tell you now. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to put the money out. I'm not going to steal off people. I'm going to create some amazing experiences for people. I'm going to invest back into their businesses. And it's about acknowledging what you really offer. And it's okay to exchange what you offer for money. I've just done a little divergent there. So first up with your money making attitude is considering your money story. And it can be quite painful, but really writing it down and saying, you know, like, and you can write it down. I'm just trying to think, like, dear money. You say, like, dear money, you've always been there when I've really needed you, but why are you not there when I want you? Something like that, like some romantic ex-boyfriend. It's starting our journey to see money in a different way. And before I continue, I can't believe I didn't even start the episode with mentioning Jen Sincero, who wrote the book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. Please read that book. It is so good. It's so good. It is so good. It's one of those, it's like a comfort blanket to me now. And I actually really enjoy watching it, reading it like again and again. I'm so sorry if you're on YouTube, my camera is getting a bit wobbly. You know why? Because I keep fidgeting. As I go to fidget again. So number 1 is all about money story. Now, number 2 is becoming aware of your money language, because the word skint or I can't afford that cannot be in your vocabulary at all. None. Nada. Such negative energy about the word skin. When you actually think about it and you're absolutely skint, it means that you can't afford things at the moment that are luxuries. But telling you now, and if you've actually been here in your life, grown up in poverty, and it is always like, I feel like this, so you can't say, well, I had it worse than you, so you can't moan. It's not about that, but it is about acknowledging that being skint is not having food, accommodation, and, you know, like no money. That's what being skint is about. And if you have food in the cupboards and you can create something to eat, if you can switch the lights on and you've got a roof over your head, if you've got an iPhone, you're not skint. If you've got a smartphone, you're not skint. So that's tough. That made me feel uncomfortable saying that, but it is true. Sorry, you're not skint. You're probably not skint. If you're listening on a phone right now that's costing you 50 quid a month to run, and it's probably the most up-to-date phone, you're not skint, are you? Really frowning now. I need to sort that out. Keep forgetting I'm actually on video. Right. So, money language. Consider how you talk about money. What are the words that you use? So if things are a bit of a challenge, and energy, money isn't flowing as freely to me as I wish it to, that's what I say. Like, money's not flowing freely as I wish it to. Bit of a mouthful. Better than, skin is easier to roll off the tongue, but what can I do to help that money flow more easily to me? Am I ready to receive it? A lot of the time, people in the Vivid Club membership will say, oh, really quiet on sales, but I'm busy doing this, that, and the other. Well, you're not going to get any more sales, especially if you've got to make the product, unless you've made space in your diary for it. If you're really busy, how are you going to meet demand? It's another thing that it's called the chalkboard method, which is from, oh my goodness, I've forgotten their names. But it's about making space in your calendar and your diary for clients' work to come in. So having space where you say, on this day, I am going to make orders. On this day, I'm going to create training for people. Or on this day, I'm going to have meetings with people. Then you're making space in your life for that work to come in. And then the work comes in. It's really cool. It's all about being just embracing the idea that money is energy. And if you just swapped and said, oh, I'm really challenged for energy at the moment, you would think, well, how can I get more energy? And when we think, oh, I'm really challenged for money at the moment, you do, I suppose, think, oh, how do I get more money? But thinking of it as an energy instead of money as in pound notes, it can sort of ease the burden of it and get you into a little bit of a better relationship with it. So definitely thinking about your money language and being aware of it. Number 3, well, I tell you, it's very, very, I'm going to have to, excuse me. I don't normally cough on the podcast, but I had laryngitis last week. And as you can hear, recording podcasts a week after you've had laryngitis is probably not the best idea, but I'm going to persevere. So I do apologise for the husky and sexy voice. Oh God, I'm being a proper prepared Paula and block recording lots of these. So I'm very proud of myself. But yeah, so talking about raising prices. So yesterday was our meeting in the Warrior Boss framework, not the Warrior Boss framework, the Project Warrior Boss. There we go. In Project Warrior Boss, which is my group program, got 6 amazing Warrior Bosses in there. Oh my God, they're so cool. As well as the September group, you are cool too. I'm not saying that I don't prefer one group over the other. I'm just saying that for the September lot, because they did say, you do know that you're ditching us, you're cheating on us with the other group. But the January group, last night we met, and one artist, she was doing a live drop of her products while we were meeting. And I said to her, so how have you priced this collection? And she said, well, I have put my prices up. I've put them up by £10 each. And I said, wouldn't it be fun if we put them up a little bit more? And she said, no. So all the other girls were like, go on, you can. Go on. Why not? Let's just do it. Come on. And I said, this is the thing with being in a group program like that. And I suppose that's the mastermind effect of it. That when you are with a group of people and everyone is backing you like that and everyone's championing you, you can move forward in a more supportive way. And I said, you are in the safest place right now. You're with a group of people that go through exactly the same thing. What's the worst thing that could happen? What is the worst thing that could happen for you increasing your prices? And she said, I don't know. I said, well, why not? She said, oh, well, they won't sell. I said, but they probably will eventually. We're not talking about doubling them. We're talking about adding an extra £25 onto each one. So she did it. And her collection, well, one piece that actually sold through the night, she sold out, I think, was in 5 minutes, and made herself an extra, I think it was 200 quid in 10 minutes by increasing her prices. Massive vulnerability hangover afterwards. She felt massive imposter syndrome, but good, because that meant she's grown and gone out of her comfort zone. But when we were talking about raising her prices, we were getting her to focus on there's more beyond the transaction. She's not just selling art. She's selling one-off pieces which have an essence of joy in them that are going to go onto somebody's wall and be there for life. You're not telling me that if somebody spends £50 on a piece of art compared to £150 on a piece of art, and I mean, I'm talking, they are small prices compared to like art. It's art, guys, art. So you say, all right, actually, for a better one, £10 compared to £150. Which piece of art, if they're exactly the same art, but somebody spent £10 on it, somebody spent £150 on it, which one do you think is going to get the most respect and love and admiration through its time on the wall? It's going to be the £150 one, isn't it? That significance of the investment means that the piece of art is going to be cared for and enjoyed more. So remember that. What do you deliver to your customers or your clients that goes beyond what you actually deliver? And sit there with that and write all of those feelings that person done. We do a lot of work on that in Project Warrior Boss and with my one-to-one clients and, all of that. So if you do need a bit of extra help with that, send me a message. Let's have a chat. Let's book a meeting. Why not? Number 4, money challenge. Now, the September cohort of Project Warrior Boss, we've done the journey with their money making attitude. They believe that they can make money. Now they're going to make the money, and we're setting up a big money challenge to finish their program. It's huge, big challenge, and they feel really out of their depth. They don't feel comfortable, because, well, the biggest reason is because they feel that what would happen, how are they going to feel about themselves if they fail? And that's the most difficult part of a money challenge. It's saying it's not about failing. It's not about even achieving the target. It's about exploring different ways that you can make money. It's about recognizing the evidence you have in your locker that you make money and that you can if you need to. So when we go through those days of feeling challenged, I was going to say skin, we don't say that, challenged money-wise or energy, the money energy is just not flowing as freely. In those moments, we can go, how can I make it move more freely? What can I do? And you have options. You've explored different ways and reasons and strategies and opportunities of making more money. They're at your hand, your fingertips. If me saying I'm going to pay for the family to go away, not out of our normal money, I'm going to earn it in a different way. I've already started doing that, and I also want new patio doors. I would say they're less exciting. It's not. I can't wait for my new patio doors. But instead of saying, right, so we need to budget for that, I don't do that. I don't budget. I go, right, what else can I do? And it's so energetic. The thing is when I do those things, the amount of extra energy and joy I have around it is so much more impactful to the people I'm supporting. They get more from me because I'm getting a reward as well for helping them, but also I'm going to get to go on holiday. It's a wonderful cycle of absolute pure joy, because the thing is you pay it forward. The more joy I get, the more joy I give to everybody else, and then the more money they make. Oh, it's so wonderful. I'm just still over the moon for that warrior in Project Warrior Boss last night, putting her prices up. Just keep thinking about it. So doing a money challenge, we set a total, we set an inside Project Warrior Boss, but they're going to all do it at the same time. So it's going to be really lots of energy behind it. And one of the warriors said to me, I'm a bit worried that what I set myself as a goal is going to be less, and then what if I don't get there? I'm going to feel like a failure. And that is the most difficult part. It's not actually making the money. It's accepting that if you don't make the money, it's okay. Nothing doesn't mean you're a failure. It means that you tried and you did an experiment. It's just an experiment. You're just seeing if you can do it. And if you can't do it the first time, who says you can't start a money challenge the very next day and do exactly the same thing? And it becomes exciting. It's just let's have a little play. Can I do that? Can I see if I can earn an extra £1,000 this week? Why not? See how we can do it. I love doing money challenges. I set myself them up a lot. What I need to do more of is doing joint money challenges with my peers. And I think it's when, like with Project Warrior Boss, they're going to benefit massively from being in the same group and being able to share that. So I'm excited for them. Okay, I'm just checking my notes. I'm being such a prepared Paula. Such a prepared Paula, making sure that I'm covering all the bases in the money making attitude. But yeah, if you've got any questions about having a money making attitude and feeling better about money, let me know. Definitely up for if you need any support around this, let's book a strategy call. At the moment, I don't have all of that information on my website because I'm an idiot. That is basically it, and I need to get on that. But just email me and I can send you over some information about booking a one-off call. We can sit there and we can look at your prices, the value that you give your clients and your customers, and do a whole structure, price standard, all about making you more money in your business as well as income streams. But yeah, I do love doing that. I do love all the strategy and money making stuff. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, then please tell your friends, tell everyone about it, share it, rate it, write a comment, go and watch it on YouTube and write a comment there, subscribe. There's lots of ways that you can, if you feel that anything I say benefits you, there's so many free things you can do to support me. And every single one, I'm just so grateful. I was thinking of doing some kind of giveaway with comments and feedback and stuff. That would be quite fun, wouldn't it? So I might do that in the future. I will do that in the future. So yeah, keep listening. Anyway, I hope you have an amazing week or day or whatever time it is where you are. And I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for listening to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast, written, produced and hosted by Claire Hill, and music has been composed by my brother, Phil Vidler.